trends. Today, we are going to discuss another topic of HR, which is organizational structure. Before starting the video, please subscribe to our channel for latest updated videos of HR trainings. Please press the bell icon for the latest notifications of the HR videos. Thanks a lot. First of all, we will look at the definition of organizational structure. An organizational structure is a system that forms how certain activities are directed to achieve the goals of an organization. It defines the hierarchy of employers and employees and identifies each job, its function, and where it reports to within the organization itself. These structures determine how information flows between different levels of a company. We will go into this in more detail shortly, but in centralized structure such as functional and hierarchical types, decisions flow from the top down. Okay, after the definition, we will look at the importance of organization structure. Organizational structure are important because they provide companies with the following benefits when properly implemented. The number one is clearly defined authority relationships. Number two, greater patterns of communication. Number three, determines the location of decision centers. Number four, proper balancing. Number five, encourages growth. We will discuss these points in detail shortly. Okay, now we will discuss these points in detail. The number one is clearly defined authority relationships. Organization structures allocate authority and responsibility in a discrete manner, specifying who directs to who and who is accountable for what results. It helps every member of the organization know what their role is and how it relates to others within the business. The next one is greater patterns of communication. By grouping together activities and people, it more readily benefits communication between people linked by their job activities. People who have the same or similar problems and challenges thus need to share information to solve these problems. The next one is determines the location of decision center. The locus of decision making within an organization is easily locatable through an organization structure. For example, in a retail store, a structure that leaves pricing and sale promotions to individual departments may be followed. However, in something like an oil refinery, a structure that leaves production, scheduling, and maintenance decisions to top levels will likely be used. The next one is proper balancing. Those who are more critical to a business success may be placed higher in the organization. Organization structure can meet out the balance of influence and authority accordingly. That is, duties of comparable importance tend to be given roughly equal levels within the structure in order to give them equal emphasis. The last one is encourages growth. The varying types of structure provide the framework within which an enterprise can function. If it's flexible, then it's in a better position to meet its challenges and create opportunities for growth. Such growth allows an organization to increase its capacity to handle greater levels of business activity. Okay, now we will discuss the types of organizational structure. Number one is functional organizational structure. Number 2 is hierarchical structure. Number 3 is divisional structure. Number 4 is matrix structure. We will discuss these types shortly. Okay, now we will discuss the first type, which is functional organizational structure. Perhaps the most common variety of functional organizational structure departmentalizes a business based on its respective common job functions. Businesses with this kind of structure would, for example, group all its marketers in one department, then its salespeople in another, and customer service team in another. Larger companies are particularly well suited to this kind of structure, especially if they produce tangible goods. Smaller companies, however, may feel disadvantages trained by the structure and should look elsewhere to other, more suitable structures. If your business works on projects where the depth of knowledge is more important than the range of information, then a functional organizational structure is appropriate. Take, for example, a fundamental research and development program. A functional organizational structure can be applied since the project is able to use the expertise of each department to its fullest in order to successfully complete the project. Now we will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of functional organization. Advantages, first of all, allow for a high degree of specialization amongst employees. Number 2 is easily scalable should the organization experience growth. Number 3, skill-based departments allow employees to explore their field and identify what they are good at. Now we will discuss the disadvantages. Can be inefficient if the business has a variety of products or target markets. Number 2, can create barriers between different functions, limiting employees' knowledge of and communication with other departments. Number 3, departments may be diverted by departmental goals as opposed to organizational ones. The next type is hierarchical structure. In this structure, employees are ranked at various levels within the organization, with each level above the other, except for those in positions at the very top, such as owners or directors, and those in entry-level positions. Employees will have both a manager and a subordinates. Some of the advantages and disadvantages. First of all, advantages. Clearly defined positions of authority and responsibility. Number 2, paths for promotion and progression are made clear, which serves to boost motivation. Number 3, encourages the effective use of specialist managers. Now, disadvantages can be bureaucratic and result in slow response to market and customer need. Number 2, poor communication through the organization, particularly between departments that are at the same level in the hierarchy. Number 3, departments may make decisions that only benefit them as opposed to the whole organization. The next type is divisional structure, used by larger companies that operate in a wide geographic area or have separate smaller organizations within an umbrella group that covers different products or markets. Under this structure, each division essentially operates as its own company, controlling resources and the amount of money it spends on projects and aspects within said divisions. Divisional structures are best suited to organizations that need to be near sources of supply and or its customers. Additionally, any company with a variety in product offerings or regions of geographic operation could, in theory, thrive within a divisional structure. Advantages and disadvantages of divisional structure. Advantages: number one, allows for greater flexibility within large companies. Number two, brings together several forms of business expertise, allowing geographical divisions to make decisions from more diverse points of view. Number three, comparative independence allows needs to be met more rapidly. Now the disadvantages. Distance between divisions can make communication difficult. Number two, the same departments across divisions may create unnecessary competition and division between geographical locations. Different marketing departments competing with and weakening each other's effort. Number three, size and scope makes this structure particularly costly. The next type is matrix structure. In this structure, all employees have dual reporting relationships, reporting to two or sometimes more bosses depending on the situation or project. Typically, this takes the form of functional reporting and product-based reporting. For instance, an employee works for one boss, but when a new project arises where they are needed, they'll then have to also report to that project's manager too. Matrix structures are well suited to companies that have both a diversity of products and markets and are required to complete large, complicated projects. Anything that requires vast amounts of information to be processed efficiently, and the deployment of specialized knowledge quickly could benefit from matrix structures. The advantages and disadvantages of matrix structure. Advantages: provides flexibility and more balanced decision making. Number two, employees can share knowledge across different functional divisions, providing better communication and understanding of each function's role. Number three, through working across functions, employees can broaden their skills and knowledge. Disadvantages: reporting to multiple managers can create its fair share of conflict and confusion over what should be reported. The next one, such conflicts can lead to issues over who is responsible for what, and if things go wrong, creates a blame game culture as a result. Now we will come to the conclusion. Every organizational structure has its advantages and disadvantages. A company should choose organization structure according to the needs of the company, such as nature of products and services they are providing, project's nature and size of organization. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel for latest updated videos of HR trainings. Please press the bell icon for the latest notifications of the HR videos. Thanks a lot.